Today's story is about the cat who thought it was a monk. The cat arrived on a Tuesday, or perhaps it had always been there. No one had seen it enter the temple. Yet the incense curled in wind loops that morning, and the rice pot boiled over without sound. The leaves in the courtyard stirred, though the air was still. That was the cat's way. It spent 3 days on the roof beam, peering down at the monks like a tiny emperor surveying his court. It blinked when they bowed, tilted its head during their chants, swiped lazily at a spider as they sat in stillness. But on the fourth morning, it descended. Without announcement or hesitation, the cat took its place on an empty cushion beside the master. Its posture was near perfect, tail curled precisely, paws tucked like a statue of Manushree. Its green eyes, half lidded, reflected the faint shimmer of the morning bell. When the bell rang, the cat did not flinch. The monks glanced at one another, but no one dared to disturb it. It sat more still than some of the novices. That evening, as they rose to chant, the cat rose too. It lifted one paw, placing it awkwardly on the floor, as if bowing. Then it opened its mouth and released a long, wailing meow, off key, unhurried, echoing through the zendo like some ancient spirit clearing its throat. The monks bit their tongues to keep from laughing, but the cat, emboldened, continued. It followed the rhythm of the chant with rising and falling meows, slightly out of time, but strangely earnest. It swayed side to side, bumping into a young monk's knee. The monk shifted, trying to ignore it, but the cat fixed him with a look, as if daring him to break the ritual. And then, in one audacious leap, the cat pounced onto the master's own cushion, kneaded it with relentless devotion, and settled in, tail flickering like a metronome. Muffled laughter stirred. Later, in the refectory, and a voice whispered, Master, is it mocking us or teaching us? Master Doken sipped the tea, letting the question hang like a mist. The cat returned the next day and the next. It copied everything. When the monks bowed, it flopped sideways in a crooked, awkward heap. When they swept the courtyard, it chased the broom bristles like a kitten possessed. During prostrations, it rolled onto its back and stretched all four legs towards the ceiling, paws trembling in some feline gesture of surrender. One monk saw it squint one eye, as if testing who dared to break their composure first. Soon some monks began to avoid the zendo altogether, muttering about distractions and mockery. Others watched in quiet wonder, uncertain whether they were witnessing nonsense or a mystery deeper than their own efforts. One night, as the moon climbed full and bright, the chanting began again. The cat stood, stressed in exaggerated silence, and walked to the center of the hall. The monks froze as the cat slowly turned to face them all. Then, without warning, Master Dokin stood, bent down on all fours, and began to crawl after the cat, moving with unsettling precision, shoulder blades rising like small mountains beneath his robe. The monks watched, eyes wide, until one, then another, followed. Some crawling, some bowing, some laughing softly without knowing why. Out through the temple door they went, like a strange crawling river, across the stone courtyard, past the garden, into the open field beyond. The cat trotted ahead, tail high, leading them in wide, meandering circles beneath the silver light. At last it paused, yawned, and curled into a tight ball, ignoring them entirely. The monks stood in the grass, bewildered. Some sat, some remained on all fours, and no one spoke. The wind shifted. A cloud passed over the moon. Somewhere a night bird called. And then, with no ceremony at all, the cat stood, walked back to the Zendo, and claimed the master's cushion once again, sitting tall, eyes fixed on the great bell hanging in the corner. Master Dokin stood behind it, watching the monks shuffle back in. He leaned down toward the cat, so softly that only the nearest could hear. Who's the monk now? The bell remained silent. The cat did not move, and that was the end of it. But from that night on, the cat was never given just a cushion. It was given the cushion, and no one, not once, dared to sit there again. So, the question is, who or what might be your unexpected teacher if you stopped judging how wisdom should look?